Sorry, my apparently OBS decided, hey, I'm just not gonna start recording immediately, and just decided to just fuck with me real quick. Um, so
As it do.
as it do. How are you doing, Danny? Because I know we
Doing real
kind of
good.
yeah, because we kind of took a weird week and a half break or so, give or take. I'm also noticing on my OBS that I last streamed 24 days ago.
Be like that sometimes.
Oh, not having a job hurts. My mental has been so fucked. It's at least 30 seconds into the recording, so I can say that. Let's go. So how has your week been?
It's been pretty good. Well, last week was pretty chill. This week's been starting off pretty strong.
Yeah, I saw some. There's some interesting news I saw. Um, I guess we can start off with the small piece that I had.
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess I have like two small pieces. For those of you that aren't big into the pro scene, at least for League of Legends, League of Legends' pro scene is coming to a close for their summer split. So all of the major regions and a lot of the minor ones are finishing up their playoff brackets coming up these next 1 to 2 weekends. I believe NA has 2 weekends, and I think EU also has 2 weekends. Um, so it's going to be really interesting to see. I am reminded that NA still sucks, and that EU is literally just G2. Like I am reminded that like as good as Fnatic used to be, their current roster is all right. I hate the fact that Mad Lions is even going to Worlds. Like I get that they have like a lot of higher skill ceiling, but also, um, I think I think the fact that the problem that Mad Lions that I have, and I'm sorry, Danny, I'm gonna go on a small rant on this. Okay,
Yeah, you're all good.
Mad Lions. So for those of you that don't know, this is their second split with a basically almost brand new roster. They came in spring with El Yoya, who's considered one of the best junglers in EU, and they gave him a bunch of rookies in the spring split. They did pretty decently, and then summer split happened, and they basically got shit on, repeatedly because they just didn't do anything. Um, to the point that I was taking a look at numbers, and a co-streamer by the name of I Will Dominate pulled up something that was really interesting. Was that Mad Lions in the summer split, right?
Hmm.
During the regular summer split had a 39% win rate in the pro scene. 39% win rate. And they're the third representative for EU to go to Worlds.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is really fucked. A lot of people are really aggravated about it because, in all honesty, they really should not have come this far. Because I watched the games that they played, and their summer split was fucking dog shit. Um, and I am of the firm believer that Team BDS absolutely should have been above them 1,000%. Unfortunately, the problem that happened was G2 in the first round of the playoffs played against Mad Lions and then lost the best of five, which is an issue, right? So there's a good thing about the LEC format, which is there is a losers bracket, and I am personally a fan of losers brackets because you get so many more games. But there is a major flaw with the losers bracket, which is the later on you lose, right, the less matches overall that you have to play. The problem is that G2 is literally the best team in EU, and they lost a best of five to Mad Lions. What do you think happened to G2 after that? They completely ran the entirety of the lower bracket. So here's the issue. because G2 lost, and I believe it was I believe, hold on, I'm going to double check this just so I'm not talking out my ass here. In the lower bracket, so they lost, G2 lost to Mad Lions in a 3-2 series, okay? G2 then proceeded to 3-0 Giant X, 3-2 Team BDS, and then they play Mad Lions again this Saturday. This is the problem with the losers bracket, is we knew this was going to happen because G2 lost and G2 went, okay, we have to stop playing around with the kids, right? We have to stop playing with the children. We have to give them the harsh reality. Smacked the shit out of Giant X. BDS gave him a little bit of a run, but also G2 was just not playing well in that series as well. BDS played well, G2 did not play as well, so that's the only reason why I went to 3-2, and now G2 has to replay Mad Lions. Here's the issue. If G2 had beat Mad Lions would have absolutely... Mad Lions maybe would have beat Giant X, but they absolutely would have lost to Team BDS. BDS absolutely curb stomped them in every single series that they fought them in, because BDS has just a way better playstyle and a way better champ pool than Mad Lions does. That's one of the issues. House. No. Get house. Thank you. Sorry, doggo was trying to get out of the crate and bug me. No. No. So yeah, it was really, really, really shitty. Because if G2 hadn't lost that, Mad Lions absolutely would not have been going to Worlds. Because the number one team in EU is G2 by far, hands down. There's literally zero contest. Fnatic would be the closest, and even then, G2 has stupid level drafts. Like, they just pull shit off in their region that nobody else does, and that's a problem because G2 this year specifically have been very much slacking because they have no good competition. Every other team is dog shit in EU compared to them. They have no competition to help them improve. So G2 just gets cocky and they just basically steamroll everybody, and then they go to Worlds, and then, well, the last 2 years have basically explained that. So it's basically who's the runner-ups, who's going to be second and third going to Worlds. And Fnatic makes the most sense because, I mean, Fnatic is a legacy organization. They've been going to Worlds, for literally years, right? I think there was like one or two years where they didn't go to Worlds as one of EU's representatives. But the new lineup for Fnatic is pretty good. I still like the really old school lineup, but then again, it was really a phenomenal lineup. And then it basically comes down to who's the third team going to Worlds. And in my opinion, there's really only one good team that you can name left, and that's Team BDS. The problem is that BDS is ahead of a pack of shit teams. Those shit teams being like Carmen Core, and Giant X, and SK Gaming, and Mad Lions, right? So they're the ones, like, they shit stomp pretty much all the lower bracket, all the lower teams, but they lose to Fnatic and G2 the majority of the time. But it makes sense for them. The problem is that BDS won their game after losing to Fnatic in round 1. They lost to Fnatic in a 3-0, by the way, and then absolutely shit stomped SK Gaming in a 3-0, and then lost to G2 in a 3-2 series. So now we're stuck with Mad Lions, who had less than a 50% win rate during the main season. And I'm like, that's not good. Like, do not get me wrong. Like, a lot of, like, NA is doing a loser bracket series, a lower bracket run. LCK is doing... I have no idea what LCK is doing. What are they doing? Are they also doing a lower bracket? They are doing a lower bracket. Let's take a look at China. Is China doing a lower bracket? China is. Oh, China did a round robin for theirs. Okay, that's interesting. So China did a round robin into a lower bracket. So that's
Huh.
interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Wait, hold on. No, let me see. Because they had what? They had 8 teams compete. Four of those. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, so 8 teams compete. In the round one. No. Oh no. 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 Okay. So, yeah, it's a round robin of 4 teams. So they did 4 rounds, so that way they could play. It looks like every team played at least. Hold on. No. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Because I'm noticing. This is odd. I'm not. I don't really understand this. I'm only seeing Billy Billy play one game. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's probably this is some weird ass convoluted series, but they also have a lower bracket. Here's the problem with the lower bracket is that teams can play well or play shittily in the season, but as long as they qualify for playoffs, if they are a playoff style team, they will make it through. And that's exactly what Mad Lions Core basically did. Is they took advantage of G2's eccentric drafts, played it against them because I watched those matches and they were not fun. And then they got and then they got 3-2'd by Fnatic, and now they have to go up against G2. And again, I genuinely think it should have been BDS because BDS is honestly, realistically, the only real good choice. Also, the fact that how the fuck is your third place team that's going to Worlds have a 39% win rate during the fucking normal season? That makes zero fucking sense. BDS had a better win loss record. Like that's not good. So I'd like to see them do some stuff. I'd also like. Don't get me wrong. I think El Yoya is leading the team well, but I also think that Mad Lions Koi is just. I think a lot of their players int pretty fucking hard. Is really the only way I can describe it, Danny. Is unless their name is El Yoya, they int a lot. Specifically their top laner Merwin, who is supposedly known for his eccentric picks, right? He picked ranged top laners and picks, unconventional top lane champs and gets away with it because El Yoya basically camps him for like 3 minutes and then he just gets to do whatever he wants. The problem is that Merwin, when he's put on a champion that's not a ranged champion or an odd pick, he literally ints every fucking time. He cannot play tanks and he cannot play fucking bruisers. Like he
Oof.
cannot play the standard top lane champs. And here's the issue that I have a problem with is there is no way that his eccentric picks are going to work against Korea and China. There's literally no way they're going to work because Korea and China arguably have the best of the best players in the world. Like as much as I hate to say it for the West, Korea and China fucking run worlds for the most part. Like they've ran worlds for the past how many years now? Basically since season 3, season 4, and we're in season
A little
what?
bit.
Yeah, we're now in season 14. So that should put it into perspective. Um, Mad Lions. The moment Mad Lions Koi fights a major region that's not EU, they're going to immediately get shit on and they're going to immediately be knocked out because they're going to be because Mad Lions Koi is going to have to play through the lower bracket or play through the round robin worlds. Um and they're probably going to make it through because it's Mad Lions and it's EU and they're still better than 90% of the, minor regions. Um but the moment they make it to, the slightly upper regions, like the major regions, they're immediately going to get knocked out. They're going to be like, why the fuck were you even here? At least BDS has the aggression that certain Chinese and Korean aggro teams play, so they can at least match that. Mad Lions Koi is just they're sloppy. They're fucking sloppy, and the Chinese and Korean teams will absolutely abuse the shit out of that, and they're gonna absolutely abuse the fuck out of Merwin because he's a rookie player. So, um, yeah, that's enough bitching about me about the pro scene. And playoffs happening. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, Danny, is uh, because Gamescom, I saw a bunch of shorts about people like there was really nothing good at Gamescom. Like there was really nothing good that happened. So I saw a video of like, hey, by the way, there's a bunch of new stuff for VR. So I was like, all right, sure, why not? Let me take a look at this. There's a new Batman game coming out for VR. Did you know that?
Yeah, I believe it's like, isn't it supposed to be like an amalgamation of the Arkham Asylum games but in VR?
Yeah, it's Batman Arkham Shadow. Um,
That'd be real interesting in VR.
yeah, and I'm very interested. Well, there was a bunch of apparently releases for VR. So they released, not only did they tell us about it, they also showed official gameplay, which is pretty fucking dope.
I'm kind of surprised they actually had it for Gamescom.
House. Yeah. Along with that, the developers of Gorilla Tag for VR are also coming out with a new game called Orion Drift. Um, which I don't know much about it, but I can only assume that that Gorilla Tag was pretty popular. And then the other one, the one that I actually do know a decent bit about, is the makers of Combat Waffle Studios, the makers of Ghost of Tabor, are coming out with two new VR survival games. Um, and that will be Silent North and Grim. Now, the YouTube channel that I saw did a pretty reasonable job of kind of explaining exactly what the premise of them are. Is in like the best way we can is the best way that they described it, and I will quote them. Is Silent North is basically 7 Days to Die and you're in Alaska, and Grim is Rust, but instead you're on Mars. Is word for word exactly what he said. And you know what? So just so I don't get hit with a copyright strike, I'm gonna look up their YouTube name. Hold on. VR game announcement shorts. You've probably seen them, Danny. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
I've seen a couple things this week from Gamescom.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why can I not? I literally saw it earlier. Why can I not find it now? Oh my god. What the fuck did I type in? Here we go. Garrett. Garrett on YouTube. He's the one that does like the faces on like Xbox and PlayStation with like the eyes and the mouth, and they
Right,
normally are shit talking each other. You've probably watched the videos at some point.
probably.
Yeah. So he does some gaming news, and this is how I found out about it. Was he kind of went over that, and that's how basically he described it, which I thought was actually super dope because that's kind of exciting. But also, I don't have money for a VR headset, so
Yeah, no, they are real pricey still.
yeah. But for those of you that can't afford a VR headset, you
Hey,
got
you
some
got
new.
something to look forward to.
Yeah. Because honestly, I would love to play 7 Days to Die in Alaska. That sounds fucking dope. So yeah. But also like Ghost of Tabor, from what I heard, was actually a phenomenal fucking game. Yeah, cause let me take a look. Ghost of Tabor. Yeah, it's a VR survival game. Yeah, VR FPS PvP and PvE survival game. Like, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like, it actually does look really, really, really good. So yeah, so that's well, I guess there's one other thing, Danny, but
Yeah,
I know that you're gonna talk about it. So I think so. Here's what I will do: is I will mention it, and then I'm gonna let you handle it. Um, and that is Destiny 2 uh, and their new Crucible system that they just announced.
I haven't actually taken a look at the Crucible system because I got sidetracked by the Choir of One quest.
Oh, oh shit. Okay. Um, fuck. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I need to do. Let me see if I can fucking find it. Oh god. Okay, hold on. At Destiny, Destiny Bulletin. Thank you, God, Destiny Bulletin, for doing this. Fuck. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where? Son of a bitch. Like, bro, hold on. What? Why can I not find this now? Why can I not find it? I saw the post. I saw the post. Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I know that DMG was like tweeting about some of those. Let me see.
Uh, there's the one about Crucible, and the fact that you can work on Crucible shit in private. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Bungie's added rewards to
yeah.
Crucible private matches. We've added a Crucible rewards to private matches to give you a slightly more casual environment to earn legendary weapons, armor, and even post-game catalyst rewards.
Yeah, that has been active since the beginning of well, it was first active when Solstice went live. Cuz me and a few other people were using it to get the silver leaves for Solstice because you just queue up like a little 5 or 10 minute private match, sit on a cap circle and just wait for the timer to run out or the points to fill up one, and just get your rewards.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, no, like that actually gives a reason to do like even like community based private matches with specific rule sets. You
Yeah,
can do just fun matches.
yeah, and the fact that you're not just wasting time, you actually are getting something out of it too, which is, I think, super dope. Like, it encourages people to be like, hey, we have a bunch, like, hey, we've got more than 6 people, we can't do a raid, but we could just go into PvP, get some bullshit rewards, and do a private match with like 4v4 and do some dumb shit. Sounds fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that they kept it. I'm glad that they didn't be like, okay, it's not supposed to do that. No, they were just like they doubled down on it. It's like, yeah, no.
It's giving me very much the vibes of Bumper Sparrows on the new map, and they
Yeah.
were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let them have fun. So, Narnia, house. So, yeah. So, but I figured I'd let you go into more of that, and then I figured that you've got some topics that you want to talk about and rant about, so I'm going to go ahead and pass everything off to you now.
Yeah, like I didn't actually see the whole article on that. So that was good to know that they had a whole thing about that.
I mean,
Uh,
I just saw it on Twitter, and I figured that I was like, oh, Danny will probably like this.
like I got sucked into the new exotic mission that just dropped with the current act because right before we started, I literally finished it.
Ah, that's what you were working on that was Destiny 2 related. I was curious about that. Yeah,
So
still don't have
yeah,
expansion, still don't get to play, but what can you do when you broke as fuck?
it's a mood. I I like this thing a lot, by the way. It's kind of stupid. It's an auto rifle that uses special ammo.
Yeah, I saw that. It's the first one of its kind, right?
Yep. It
Yeah.
also does like more damage than Merciless in the same situation, but from slightly further away, which is really silly.
I'm sorry. My dog decided that she wants to be a little asshole, so I'm going to go ahead and close the crate on the door because the problem is that she likes to lay right behind me and I don't want to run over one of her paws.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely understandable. let's see. On top of that, though, there's a couple other things that I saw from Gamescom that was announced, like Sony exclusivity apparently ended for Genshin, so that's coming to Xbox soon.
Oh, that's interesting.
There
I'm still not gonna
is,
play it.
yeah, there is a release date for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is December 9th. I am intrigued by that game purely because they seem to have written it like the old movies.
Oh, so it's very comical.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm here for it.
It's like we need some less serious games for a little bit.
No, no, that's reasonable.
And another game that I saw that I've been actually looking forward to is called Mouse PI. It's essentially a boomer shooter in the same kind of art style as Cuphead. So you get the classic like late 40s, early 50s cartoon aesthetic.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, it looks like a ton of fun.
Mouse PI for hire.
Yep,
Okay.
it looks like a lot of fun.
No, that sounds kind of dope. I kind of fuck with that. I mean,
And
I
yeah,
real talk, real quick to just talk about on that because I I am a huge fan of that style of art is the 50s and 60s black and white.
yeah, all the old forget exactly all the cell animations.
Yeah, like cuz cuz you got to understand, I didn't grow up standard like most kids our age. I grew up with a lot of the classics. Like I grew up with because like when most kids were watching the newer stuff on Cartoon Network, I was still watching Tom and Jerry. I was watching Flintstones. I was watching Jetsons. I was watching the original Tom and Jerry, which is black and white, where they're
Yep.
not a cat and a mouse, and they're brothers. I remember watching a lot of Betty Boop, and I remember watching a lot of Felix the cat. And I really genuinely love and appreciate the black and white, art style of that. So,
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I thought that Cuphead was such a beautiful game because it did a phenomenal job. Like the way that I look at Cuphead is the same way that I looked when I watched the first time that I ever watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original on VHS.
Yeah.
It's that exact same art style, and I love that. And I love that more people are creating games in that fashion. Sorry,
It's
I
like
just I had to go on that small tangent there.
no, it's perfectly fine. Like I appreciate it a lot because that's why it really enjoyed Cuphead. Because like no one had really done like frame by frame hand drawn animation for games before. And it's like it's kind of wild to think about that because like no other game before had thought of like doing hand drawn animations. Because like I could imagine for like most of the characters, that's a that's a lot of frames to edit, which is kind of why it took so many years to make it. But at the same time, it's cool to see more games do something in that art style. Because I know there's a lot of indie games that have like sort of similar to that style, but not quite. And then there's also like heavily cel shaded, extra pixelated. Then uh, not too long ago, we had the trend of games in PS1 style graphics, which also really cool.
Yeah, though I'm not gonna lie, there is something about the fucking polygons that is just so dumb from PS1. The PS1 graphics are so dumb.
it's led to some very fun games recently. Like all the recent PS1 remakes have been very amusing.
Hmm.
And one
Well,
of my favorites, uh, the creator behind uh Bloodborne remake recently released Nightmare Cart because she had to change the name from Bloodborne Cart to Nightmare Cart because Sony.
hmm.
But that game, by the way, is free to play on Steam. It is literally free to anyone, and it's pretty rad. It's it's good to see more games like that pop up, and I can't wait to see what the game feels like. They might have a demo or not. They might not. I'm not entirely sure yet. But essentially, think of Doom, but like old school cartoon.
Hmm. I mean,
And I'm
it's
here for it.
classic.
Exactly. And like on top of that, another game that they announced that I've been looking forward to is Avowed from the wonderful folks over at Obsidian Games.
Ooh, okay.
And I heard the magical words from someone who got to play it early that made me very interested in it. It's got just enough RPG that you can change builds up here and there, but it has like a lot of good storytelling and plenty of stuff that doesn't overwhelm you.
Okay. I'm very interested in that.
So, it's like, if I remember correctly, it's set in the same world as Pillars of Eternity, so if anybody's played that series, you'll know a little bit what's going on. If you haven't, it's going to be a new experience, and that's cool. Also, if you've played the Mass Effect series and you're quite a fan of Garrus, I believe one of the companions of the game is voiced by his VA.
There you go.
Believe he's also romanceable, so uh but Avowed looks good. I heard the combat was pretty good. People that have played it, I'm excited. It comes out in February. I'll probably get to play it through Game Pass. And I'm here for that. Civ 7 was also announced.
Yeah, I saw that. I I'm just hoping that it's gonna be better than Civ 6.
I
Cause
hope so too.
I know because a lot of my fraternity brothers specifically, a lot of them loved Civ 5, and when Civ 6 came out, they were like, "What the fuck?" It was just not from what I heard. Now again, I'm not a Civ player, but apparently it was not a good game.
Yeah,
So
like 6 just felt like, I don't know. It didn't feel the same.
yeah. So I hope that they kind of go back to what made Civ 5 so good and just kind of help vamp it up and revamp more of it.
Yeah, like Civ 5, I feel like Civ 5 was like more put together. It felt like more, I don't know. It's just something about like how different it felt more like a mobile game than a traditional Civ game, which was odd. And there was also like a lot of issues with it. Like they added the World Congress system I didn't enjoy in 6 at all because it like completely halted everything whenever it popped up.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. So yeah, and I mean, I never got into the Civ games. I couldn't do that style of RTS, but all I know is that my buddies just constantly bitched about how bad 6 was and how just poorly it played. So, here's hoping for the best for number 7.
Yeah. And let's see. They showed some gameplay from Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Another Dragon Wait, they're making another Dragon Ball Fighter game?
Yeah, it's basically the continuation of the Budokai series.
When was the last Budokai game released?
It's been a long time.
Hold
I
on.
think the last one actually came out on PS2.
Wait, hold on.
It's been a hot minute.
$2012.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD Collection was released on November 2nd, 2012. There's no way that's the last one. Oh, okay. So Sparking Zero is supposed to be Budokai 4.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the next game in the series.
So wait, hold. So I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be Budokai 3. So it'd be Dragon Ball. So one was did. When did Dragon Ball 3 Budokai come out?
It's
Okay,
just
no, yeah,
interesting.
the legacy, the HD Legacy Collection came out in 2012, so it's been over 10 years. But Budokai 3 came out in 2004. 20 years ago, Danny.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a long time. So like hearing them announce that they were going to make this and it being like the actual successor is kind of wild.
God, that's fucking insanity to hear.
Because like that is kind of what people wanted fighters to be, but it's a completely different style of game.
Well, yeah, because it reminds me a lot of. What's the best way for me to describe it? It's very much like because the Budokai games are very because now hold on because the Budokai games because there's technically two versions because there's the Tenkaichi version, right, which is the 3D
Yep.
world, right?
Yeah, the arena fighter basically.
Yeah, because that's the one that was made in order to combat the Naruto Ninja Storm games, I think, right? Or
Yeah,
was the Ninja Storm games? One
it's
of them was
basically like they're basically the same style of game.
yeah, whereas the standard Budokais are like your standard scrolling fighter game, right? So it's a lot like
Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but god damn, has it really been that long since one of those fucking came out? Jesus Christ. God. I mean, that is kind of fucking dope though. I'm
Yeah,
hyped.
like it looks real good. Let's see. The other thing, Starship Troopers is coming out on consoles. I think relatively soon. Yes, October 11th.
Wait, hold on. There's an actual Starship Troopers game coming out?
Yeah, Starship Troopers Extermination is coming to uh, all consoles, and the full version comes out on PC. Well, by all consoles, I just mean PlayStation, Xbox. Because
Oh, it's on PS5, man.
yep, it's PS5 Series X, 16-player co-op missions. It's essentially the game that got buried under Helldivers before Sony did the thing and derailed all of its momentum.
16-player co-op?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
like an actual like full squad.
Jesus Christ.
I heard like mixed things on it when it initially came out on PC, but it was early access,
Who the
so the
fuck
full
is
version is
60
coming out.
people to play with?
Yeah, no, it's a ridiculous amount of people that can play it. Let's see,
God,
the other thing.
if I had the money for a fucking console, I would buy that immediately. Please tell me it at least has crossplay.
Let's see. I they don't necessarily say yet. I'll have to do some digging on that.
It would be ridiculous for them to release on both PlayStation and Xbox and it not be crossplay. That seems a little ridiculous to me. Like, if you're gonna make a game for both consoles, why not introduce crossplay? It's the same reason why I had a problem with what was it, Outriders?
Yeah.
Yeah, Outright, and then them trying to get crossplay and it absolutely failing, and the game died within about 3 weeks. So,
Yeah.
yeah, not good.
And then got the really big one that was talked about and had gameplay on the floor at Gamescom.
Okay.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff about Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a lot of interesting stuff.
They showed off the new weapon system and the changes they made to all the weapons, focus mode, which actually seems very helpful. The weapon swapping, and then also they showed off 2 new monsters as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
And apparently in the gameplay, they had sections where you could explore underwater, but they did confirm that there isn't going to be underwater combat returning, which there hasn't been underwater combat in a while, but there is a possibility that some of those monsters might appear in the game.
Oh, so wait, what's the point of the underwater then? Just to like go get materials and stuff?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, here's my thing, Danny. Is now they announced that Wilds would be crossplay, correct?
Yes. That
Okay.
is the one of the first things that they confirmed since they were testing it with Street Fighter. They are going to do
Oh,
that with Monster Hunter finally.
oh, that's right. Because the other Monster Hunter games weren't crossplay, right?
Nope, people asked for it a bunch with World. And then they asked for it again with Rise. So the fact that they're finally doing it with Wilds is a huge step forward.
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, Danny. If I get this new job, I'm thinking about buying an Xbox. Because fuck Sony. I would be willing to buy Wilds when it comes out, and we do some collabing in gameplay
Yeah.
together. Because now that I'm no longer really playing Destiny, because I'm like, here's my issue with Destiny. Just small side tangent is unfortunately I have had the misfortune of being spoiled on a lot of stuff through Act 1, 2, and now with 3. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I have, because now that Act 3 is getting ready slash has happened, it's like, do I really want to get back into it after basically missing out on an entire expansion? Is it worth my time now? And unfortunately, I think I just came to the conclusion and I just said no. And I know that a lot of the player base has kind of been a little bit split about Destiny 2 right now. So, it's going to be interesting. So I'm like, well, I don't want to play Warframe. So,
Oh no, like Warframe, like I've discovered from 2 of the games that people have tried to get me to play. Warframe and Final Fantasy XIV both have the same problem.
and that is
They've never removed a single thing. So you have years worth of things between you and the most current content.
which is one of the things that I think WoW did pretty well, which was trying to update their game. When it comes to like MMOs and stuff like that. Um, but I mean, here's my thing. I could very much be persuaded to play Wilds because I'm like, if I'm no longer playing Destiny, that frees up my one game of super grind for like Ultra Bis, whatever I want, other than like WoW, which I raid like 2 nights a week and I really don't do anything else. Um,
Yeah.
so so Monster Hunter Wilds may be my new grind game because that to me sounds fun. I'm also gonna turn on my AC unit, so I apologize about the sound in the background because it's fucking hot in this apartment. But no, that sounds super dope. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Like I'm ready for it. I'm glad that they're embracing crossplay because like more games need to do that. We need that. It's much better for player bases. It's
Like
very good.
the fact that
Especially
most
PvE games.
yes, because and that's an issue that I think that a lot of companies are having is that like they want to keep things exclusive. And I'm like that's not viable anymore. It's just not. You can't keep games exclusive. Like you have to offer crossplay because it's just not good otherwise. Like and a great example is right is exclusives cause problems like what happened between Arrowhead and Helldivers with Sony because now your whole shit is just completely fucked. So introducing crossplay means that if one side fucks you, the other one's going to do everything they can in their power to be like, hey, we didn't do that to you. Let's offer you something better than that. And it's just a whole nother toxic environment. So,
Exactly.
but I very much agree with you. I think that in not, I mean not even just PvE. I think if your game is not single player, like strictly not single player, so like not like a standard campaign game. If you are a PvE game, if you are a PvE game that can be played with friends, or a PvP game that can be played with friends, you should automatically have crossplay. That shouldn't even be a question that's asked. Like that's we are too far in technology to not have crossplay integrated into every fucking game that is now available. I'm sorry.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to
Like,
deal with that.
and
So,
it's like it's one of the two things that I am very happy to see less and less in modern games. Like that, and the other thing that I really would like to see less of is exclusivity.
yeah. The time for exclusivity is dying.
Cuz like I want to just put this out there because I know that they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. When is the last time you heard someone talk about Spider-Man 2?
Right around the Game Awards.
And you haven't heard a single word about it since either.
Pretty much.
They did you know that they released a DLC for it?
No.
Yeah. And that thing's still exclusive until like later this year. And probably not going to hear anything about it until it comes out on Steam.
Can you even play it with friends?
No, I don't think so, unless there's a multiplayer mode, which you'll probably need a PSN account for.
Yeah. That's just another ridiculous thing by Sony. Well,
Yeah.
and in all fairness, it does technically fall into the guidelines of it's a single player campaign game. So it's, I guess, to a certain extent, it's okay for the exclusivity, but also, I kind of agree with you on that. And I'm going to retract my statement. Every single game should be on every single platform at this point.
It's just like I understand why some developers like only do PC or only do like Switch or only do Xbox or something like that because like it's the dev kits that they have. Like that I understand. If you're limited by what kits you have to work with, that I understand. if it's choosing to specifically make a game for one platform and leave it on that platform when you have the ability to make it for multiple platforms, it just seems like you're losing money there. It does not seem like a good idea for anyone involved.
No, 1,000%. And it doesn't make any sense. And I think it's dumb. It's a terrible business decision.
Yeah,
Fucking English is hard. Business decision.
yeah. And
I'm
on the
fucking
topic,
exhausted. Jesus Christ.
yeah, on the topic of horrible business decisions, have you heard of a game called Blue Protocol?
No.
So, Blue Protocol is a Bandai Namco game that is kind of like Genshin, but if Genshin was more of an MMO.
Okay.
Uh, as of literally maybe an hour ago, they posted that they are going to shut down their service before it actually comes to the West. So, it will close in January.
How long has the game been running?
A few months.
Sales were that bad.
Uh, Bandai's just giving up on it. Like it hasn't performed super well in the East, but there were so many people that were literally sitting waiting for this thing to come over. But it was in collaboration with Amazon Games, so it's probably where the break was. Amazon probably didn't want to bring it over, so Bandai's not gonna bring it over. So the game itself is just getting shut down in January rather than even attempting.
Like, bro, we have the technology. Okay, and this is something I'd like to bitch about, okay? So bear with me on this, Danny. How many times have you watched a video about exclusive region Pokemon games? And the fact that
Yup.
we never got any of them!
Mm-hmm.
Like,
There's
what the fuck is that, Game Freak?
there's a few games that are kind of like that where they have like region specific things, and I'm like, these look so cool, and they would have done so well over here. But it's like because they perform so poorly in their original market, they just don't ever come out until like potentially years later.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, just if you're gonna release the game with all the kit and caboodles, release it worldwide.
Yeah,
Worldwide.
it's like
It's not that
global
hard.
releases. Like this is the thing that should really stand out because this is what happened with Monster Hunter World. World came out, it still had a staggered release, but it came out all over. It didn't just come out in one particular market. It came out everywhere. And it became one of Capcom's like fastest selling games because people wanted it. Like people were tired of like having to wait or having to get copies sent and do some funky hardware manipulation to get reach and lock things to work.
Yeah, like, and again, that's a problem that I have is region lock shit should not exist.
Yeah,
It just
like
shouldn't.
it's
Like,
getting bad with a lot of things.
well, and
Like
again, like,
streaming services are real bad with it.
yeah, I mean, a great example is that they shut down Twitch in Korea.
It's like
The fuck?
region locking has become such an issue. Like it's become even more so of an issue now.
Well, and a lot of the problems, and here's the fucked up part. A lot of the reasons why they don't allow certain games into regions is because of religious reasons,
Yeah,
which I think is
there's
which I think is fucking ridiculous. Like, let the let the game release, and if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. Like,
yeah,
sell a limit, like have limited copies for a region, and if it doesn't sell, okay, ship the copies back, call it a day. Because Americans will buy
exactly.
fucking anything. Like, if it doesn't sell in, I don't know, fucking Egypt. Send it to fucking America. There will be someone who will buy it off a shelf.
Yeah,
Unless it's truly that horrendous. But like,
exactly.
gaming companies need to pull their heads out of their asses and actually ask gamers what they want.
Yeah, it's like I swear, like so many of them really don't pay attention to any like serious feedback.
Like, just read
Cause like,
Twitter. Just read Twitter.
oh yeah, no, it really does not take long to get people's feedback on games. You'll
Like,
get it real quick.
we have social media. We have the technology. You can get instant feedback. Like, it's really not that hard. If you are the
Exactly.
lead game dev of a game and you are on a social media platform and people will naturally follow you because they want to see updates about games, all you have to do is post something asking a question and you will get plenty of responses.
Exactly.
It's not that hard. It's not that fucking
Yeah.
hard.
Uh, get ready for the indie games because they're gonna be booming real soon.
Mm-hmm. No, 1,000%. Like, the indie game scene is going fucking hard. AAA studios are
Especially
fucked.
yeah, especially after like a bunch of these AAA studios have laid off so many people. There there's a lot of talented devs and artists that are ready to work on more games.
Mm-hmm. Because it's something they have a passion about. I mean, think about it this way: Destiny's composer is available.
Yeah,
Like, you want a banging soundtrack. That's a number one hire for you.
exactly. And there's a lot of really good there's a lot of good player support people that are free right now. If you want some player support or community managers,
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's plenty.
or,
So it's.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm just happy that there's some stuff to actually look forward to right now. It's not just this shut down or this company laid off more workers. It's
yeah.
like
Well,
we actually have
the
something
beginning of this
good.
year was fucking miserable.
Oh yeah, no, it was literally like every single AAA studio, every single one of them.
It's just like, for fuck's sakes, man. For fuck's sakes, get your shit together. Do you have any other news to report about, Danny?
I think that's about it.
All right.
Other than that, I'm doing some slight research on more tank stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, and also, I won't be able to do any of the weekend streamings because fair has started. So I will no longer be available on Saturdays and Sundays, and most likely, actually, no, I will absolutely not be available on Friday nights.
But yeah, that's understandable with all that going on.
Yeah, because your boy needs money, because I gotta pay rent. So, yeah. With that being said, um, I guess we'll just call it there.
Yeah, I think we had a good little amount of things.
Yeah, we got an hour long video, give or take, so I call that a dub.
Yeah,
So, with that being said, though, Danny, where can they find you?
you can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Catbox Danny.
You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch at Dominifox if I ever stream. Like, again, I'm so sorry. I just cannot get into the mentality or mood to do it. You can also find me on Twitter at DominiFox1, where I am still shit talking pretty much every League Pro scene right now. So, thank you all so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We both hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll see you guys next time.